Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I would like to welcome you to My Luxury Closet 529, a place where not everything is luxurious, but a lot of it is luxurious to me, and here I like to share some of those luxuries with you. Speaking of luxuries, I have a double Chanel unbagging for you today, and I got to go to Chanel, to the boutique, and make a purchase for the first time, so this is quite exciting for me to share. So here are two bags. Now, one of the bags was actually given to me the first day I went to the Chanel boutique with a very nice catalog inside. And what's inside this bag is what I actually purchased. The other bag, what's inside of it is Chanel, but I did not purchase it from the boutique. We'll get to that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and check out what's in the bag so you can see what were the fruits of my labor at Chanel. So I went in and I was trying to figure out what styles at Chanel work for me because I don't have a Chanel near me. I was in Orlando for a week with my son. He was doing a really cool medical conference. He is 15 and very bright. And while he was in that conference, I ran over to the mall at the Millennia, I believe it's what it was called, and had a wonderful sales associate who let me try on a variety of different bags. And what I found was actually quite surprising. What I thought would work for me turned out not to work for me as much as I thought it would. And what I didn't think I'd like, I ended up liking. I'll get to that here in a minute. But let's first check out what I got. So I got a small item because I wasn't ready to make a big decision. And with Chanel, if you want to have an item shipped to your home later, whenever you do make your decision, you really have to have one purchase on your purchase history before they will ship to you. So that is what this is. The box came with a beautiful camellia on it as well, and that's what I put on a larger bag just for aesthetic purposes. But this is a small leather good. They come in a really soft velvety pouch. I did not know that. And what I got was this gorgeous burgundy brown card holder in caviar leather. I was quite captivated with this particular color when I was in the boutique. I was trying on a cocoa handle in this color, and I really loved the color. The cocoa handle, not as much, but whenever I saw the variety of card holders they had available, and they didn't have a lot, this one really spoke to me. Typically, I like my card holders to have 3 slots on each side, and this one is far from that. But because I do have 3 card holders that have 3 slots on each side, plus the one in the middle, this one offers a nice alternative for when I don't need to carry quite so many cards. And I feel like the workmanship on it is excellent. I don't see any issues with quality like so many seem to find lately with Chanel products. The caviar leather feels amazing as well. And it does have a heavenly leather smell. So that is the first unboxing or reveal. I did use it once, so it's not a true unboxing. So I mentioned that there were some Chanel styles that worked for me when I was at the store and that there were some that did not. I tried on the cocoa handle. I do like that bag. I only like it on the shoulder, on me, not crossbody. I'm 5'8", and I am about 130 pounds, and crossbody, it was up over my boob. And so that did not work, but it was very cute on the shoulder. The brown one I was looking at, it tended to tip forward because the handle wasn't straight up. They also had a gorgeous navy one in the store, and it did not have that issue. So if you do decide to purchase a cocoa handle, I would recommend checking it out and making sure that it's balanced correctly. Now, I was looking at what used to be the mini cocoa handle, but is now the small. They did not have the next size up, but I would be curious about that size too. I also looked at the Trendy CC, and I was looking at it in the size that they are calling the medium now. Now, I believe the medium is similar in size to the Pochette Métis. Now, this is the Dress Up Your Purse Paris 15, which is almost the exact same size as the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. The Trendy CC in what is now considered the medium size is around 10 inches wide, so it's similar in size to this. And that's the size I thought I would want. But again, it doesn't really go crossbody on me well, and it is heavy. And so immediately when I picked it up, I thought, no, this is too heavy. So I would need to go with their small size of the Trendy, and it is really small. Similar in size to the Coach Cassie 19. I think that I could fit everything I needed inside of it if it wasn't my everyday bag, but I would have to do some maneuvering. I did really like the Trendy in their small size, which is, again, it's probably more like 20 centimeters wide versus 25. So I think that's around 8 inches, and it went crossbody very well. So that was a surprise. The other surprise was I tried on the Chanel 22 in the small and the medium size, and I absolutely love the Chanel 22 in the small size. I worry about the quality on it. I've heard from many sources that the leather tends to peel around where the chains come out, but I'm intrigued by that style. It was super lightweight. It was totally like relaxed, and I felt like it was really me. I had a chance to try on several of their mini classics and the Pearl Crush versions of the minis. And for me, the classics worked a little better than the Pearl Crush. I found that circular adjustment to be very heavy and kind of get in the way. But if you need an adjustable strap, that's an excellent option. For me, the classics hit me at the right spot, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much space they had inside because there was no divider. So for that reason, I really did like those mini classics, whether it was the top handle or the regular or the square, but I did prefer the rectangular shape to the square because my iPhone Pro Max would fit inside. So that's just a quick synopsis of what I discovered when I was at the Chanel boutique. And I'm going to use that information whenever I'm shopping pre-loved. But also, I am now keeping in mind that items like the mini O case, which is known now, I think, as the small cosmetic pouch, it is actually priced the same or cheaper in the boutique than it is on a lot of the pre-loved websites. Also, those mini rectangular bags are cheaper in many cases than on the pre-love sites, and the Chanel 22 is also very similar in its retail price to what it is on the pre-love sites, and knowing that makes me a lot less likely to want to buy those items pre-loved. The Coco handle also tends to hold its value pretty darn well, and the Trendy, and those are ones that I was kind of considering, and for that reason, now I know that going the boutique route may be better. You also get a warranty on the hardware with the boutique route, which is a nice perk to have. So that is my quick synopsis of my Chanel tour. I hope you enjoyed the photos I inserted, and we'll get back to the video. The second item is a bigger item, and it's inside of this bag. Now, if you're familiar with Chanel, you may recognize this dust bag. The classics for Chanel come in this type of dust bag, or at least they used to. I think they may have updated the dust bag as well. This is the one that has Coco herself inside, and I'll show you that here in a moment. I've had a classic before. I had the classic flap in black, caviar leather, gold hardware, everybody's dream combination, right? Well, for me, it wasn't quite the dream. It was something that sat on my shelf and didn't get used, and I ended up selling it and purchasing the Dior Caro bag in the black supple calfskin leather and the rose-colored Speedy 20 in nanogram in its place. But since then, I have developed kind of an interest in Chanel once more and discovered that there are several styles that work for me, whereas the classic flap did not. So here is one of the styles that works for me, and I know this because I've used it now for several days. And I've had it for several months, so let's get to it. First, you'll notice the sketch of Coco. Now, again, I believe they do not put her on the inside anymore, which is a shame, as she is definitely the face of the brand. I got a reissue. The reissue is considered a classic by Chanel, and I believe this one is in the color light beige. It is a pinky beige though, and it is a perfect complement to so many clothes in my wardrobe. I did pick this up from Rebag, and when I got it, it was described as having some faint corner wear, but really the only wear on the corners is wrinkles. And if you notice here, this is a crumpled calfskin and it is wrinkly by design. So really the only true wear that I found on this bag was on the turn lock. And whenever you look at the turn lock of these bags, they tend to have a semicircular scratch from this lock turning over and over again. And also the brushed gold finish does get worn slightly. And I am okay with that because the bag is distressed all over. The leather is distressed. The hardware on the beautiful chain is an aged gold. So having the clasp be slightly distressed is very acceptable to me. Now, the reissue bag was designed to be folded up, and that's why it is pointier than the classic flap. And also the base of it will fold down so it goes flat. Now, I don't want my bag to go flat, and I'm going to show you a way that I'm going to keep it from doing that. So let's get inside. When I had my classic flap, this little zipper on the inside, which was supposedly originally for Coco's love letters, although I'm not sure that is 100% true. I've heard other versions of the story, but it a lot of times will leave marks and impressions on the flap here, and so will the chain. And this one is impeccable, and I think the reissues do a lot better with the appearance of this inner flap than the classic Chanel medium large. And part of that may be because the chain itself doesn't have as much friction when going through the grommets as the classic does, since it doesn't have leather interwoven into it. I find it very easy to get inside this bag. When I had the classic flap, it wasn't as easy. I think this one's much easier. There is an exterior pocket here, but I'm not going to use it because I don't want to pop these two little stitches on the sides. It really wasn't designed to be used for much, if anything at all, so I'm not using it. Looking inside, you can see I have a jumble of my things because I have been using it. And I did put my organizer from my boy bag in there. And so if that tells you anything, I have an old medium Chanel boy bag. And this bag is the Chanel Reissue 2.55 in the size 225, which is considered, I think, the small. This bag did come with the dust bag, as you've seen, as well as the authenticity card. And I do really like having that authenticity card. I am keeping them inside the bag because I don't want to get them mixed up with the other Chanel bags I have. I now have 4, and I have not showed you one of them. This was the 3rd reveal. And I've sold quite a few bags to be able to acquire these, and I am very happy with the decision that I've made. Now, if you look inside, you will see a base shaper from MBoutique Australia. And I love MBoutique Australia. I have a discount code for them. It is MLC12 for 12% off. They have these base shapers that essentially open up the bags so that they have structure in the bottom. So I've just removed it. Let's go ahead and close the bag, and I'm going to show you how squishy gushy the bag gets. See, I can squeeze it and it folds, and it will fold along this line here. You can see where it was designed to be folded, but I don't want it to do that. So having the base shaper and or an organizer inside helps it to not do that. Their base shapers are covered in like a pleather type material. They're firm, but they have a little bit of padding. They're a little bit squishy. I'm going to go ahead and stick this back inside. I have found that using this front pocket is very nice for 1 credit card or 2, or I imagine you could even put more in there, but I like it for quick access to a card that I'm going to use. Now, I just mentioned the base shaper and how valuable it is. Well, I also love to have bag organizers inside of my bag, and JLYZ Moon was kind enough to send me another one of their fabulous inserts. Now, this one, I think that the color is a heavenly match. Is that not gorgeous? I mean, the light rosy pink hue just matches the bag perfectly. And they wrap their organizers so well. This foam inside, I have found it to be very useful in maintaining the structure of other bags. I don't know if the whole thing will fit inside of my reissue. We will just have to check. The reissue goes in quite a bit up at the top, and so that's why I'm not sure if it will fit. So it does fit inside with the foam insert, but it would be a very tight squeeze to close it like that. And so I don't think I'm going to store it with that inside. I like how the JLYZ Moon organizers are silky and they have some structure at the base. You can see that this has structure. They hug the sides of the bag very nicely and really just provide a layer of protection against fingernails and other scratchy things that you might put inside your bag. I generally remove this little ring because I don't hook anything to it, and so I save it and use it for other things, such as luggage tags and charms that I might want to attach to other bags. The strap actually removes completely, and so I did get 2 bonus rings with this organizer that I can save for other projects. I do think I'll have space to keep the MBoutique base shaper in there. And look at that. What a beautiful fit. I absolutely love that color inside of the bag. And it allows the bag to curve in naturally because of the way they have structured this organizer. And so it will maintain its shape wonderfully. And again, I do have the base shaper from MBoutique underneath it. So when I squeeze it on the sides, it does not collapse. I'm going to pull it out and just have the organizer in there and see if it does collapse a bit more. I think it will. So you can see it will collapse a bit more, but it does have more structure than it did without anything inside. So really, it just depends on how firm you would like the base of your bag to be, whether you just have an organizer in or if you double up and also put the base shaper in. In most of my bags, I have both. Now, like I said, I had my organizer for my new boy bag all loaded up inside of the Reissue. And I do have a base shaper to show you inside of this bag as well. The boy bag is known for collapsing on the sides, and this one has beautiful structure, so I really don't want that to happen. I selected a navy blue, and look how wonderfully that fits inside of this bag. MBoutique will oftentimes have their base shapers curve up on the sides, and that is really nice because it maintains the structure of the bag even more, but you really can't do that when the bag is a triangle shape on the side. Without the base shaper, this bag is very squishable, and I don't want to develop wear and tear on it, and that's why I love these so much. I do think that this handy piece of foam that was provided to me by JLYZ Moon is going to be an amazing way to stuff this bag. How perfect is that? That structure is going nowhere. So with that, my Reissue is unloaded. I have an organizer with stuff inside that I have to find a place to put. It is raining today, so I need to be very careful with my handbag selection, and I haven't quite figured that out. Perhaps in another video, we'll talk about rainy day bags. But when I see you next time, I will either be revealing that last Chanel bag or a Louis Vuitton bag. I have a few different options, so stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same, is the @ then MyLuxuryCloset529. You can DM me there, or you can email me at myluxurycloset529@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Have a fabulous day. Bye.